us start. So in the last class, we started the wave characteristic of a transmission line, and we have seen that this transmission line, like you can see on your screen, that this transmission line is connected through a load and is fed through source and the source impedance. Now, certain conventional conventions and parameter we assigned over there, and it was there like if you start from the source, z is equal 0, and if you go up to the end of the transmission line, which is the length of the transmission line L, so z is L. Or a different notation we also seen, if if one can want to start from the load, correct? So that time we put it z dash is equal to 0 at load side, fine, and z is equal L at the source side. So these are some things actually when we have the derivation. This last class we have seen the derivation at 2, and how we accommodated this z dash and z, and finally we got a very nice relation of voltage and current wave, if you remember. And finally we came across one very important formula, which was zi input impedance as z is equal 0 and z dash is equal L. Means I'm talking about particularly at the source side. Means from this side, if you see, so the impedance will be derived, if you remember this formula, ZL plus Z naught tan hyperbolic gamma L divided by Z naught plus ZL tan hyperbolic gamma. So this was the input impedance. Hmm? Now the thing is, like this whole thing, like if we have the input impedance, now this circuit, what you can see here, we can make its a compact form or its equivalent again, like this. This is Zi, fine, like this. We can also express the situation like this, because once you have the input impedance, you can arrange like this. There is a not a big deal, fine. And let us mention all these things. So this was as mentioned over here also II, and across this it would be VI, fine. Terminal voltages, fine. Now if you look this circuit, you will find that this is really very simple, and we came across uh, many times actually to solve such circuits. And the thing is, we can immediately write the formulas for Vi to the known web parameters like this. Just a minute. The screen is visible to you, students?
Yes, sir.
Fine, thanks. So these formulas one can directly write to find it out the Vi and II. So there is no big deal actually. Hmm. So once we have a circuit, we can do number of operations, because we are very much comfortable with these kind of circuits. Now Once we have these things, correct, particularly this input impedance, and we realize the things in a very simple situation. Now one can write down some expressions for average power delivered by the generator to input terminals. Fine. So if I write these things, so it will be like this: P average, just a minute. So this will be there's some problem actually. Just a minute. Hmm, there's a problem in pen. Just a minute. Can we write this thing? This is P average. I stand for the input terminal, half of real part of this product, VIII star. And here I mentioned Z is equal 0. Means I'm looking from the load side. Fine. So this is what? This is power delivered by the generator to the input terminal. Fine. Simply, we can manage the average power delivered to the load as well. And if I ask to write, the formula will be like this. Just replace this I with L. L stand for the load, and this will be half of real part of VI again II star. And this time Z will be L, and Z dash, or you can write Z dash is equal 0. Simply we can manage these things. There is no big issue with this actually. Hmm? So one can manage power delivered to the load like this. Now the thing is, we have certain expression and we can simplify further. So if you simplify, like VI or II could be written like VI over ZI. Fine. These things, we can you write this into this form? Yes. Huh? So now if you solve this, finally you will be having, I'm writing the final expression, mod of IL RL. Correct. Correct. So this is what? This is the power delivered to the load. Now, if I take one special case that if the line is lossless, correct? For lossless line, I can write P average at input side is equal to P average at load side. Fine. I can write this. Yes. So Now, from the expression itself, one can find it out, uh, these relations and the power estimations. Now, let us take some special cases here. Yeah? So, let's say if I say if ZL is equal Z naught, it means that whatever you connected at the last of the transmission line, this is load, is equal to the characteristic impedance. Then what will happen? There will be no reflected wave. Hmm? Or if I ask you that what is the input impedance, so simply you can recall the formula what we derived earlier, and you can say the input impedance is what? Z naught only, correct? So Zin will be Z naught, fine, from the above formula. And if this is the situation, only forward waves will be existing, fine. There will be no reflected term here. Now, so one can write, if there is a no reflected term, so you can write like this, and e to the power gamma. There is a problem actually in my pen. Stop working. I don't know what is the problem. So these are the forms actually. So if you remember the last class we discussed so much these things. We stressed over these forward and reflected wave and written certain equations as well. Now the thing is, like this Z naught, we already have the definition, and what was that? This is L minus Z. Hmm? If you remember, this Z dash is what? This is L minus Z. Remember this thing? Fine. Now, if you replace this Z naught, now how you can express these equations? So these Vz, just a minute. Just a minute. I'm just closing and then again opening this. I believe you can see the slides. Can you see the slides, students?
Yeah.
Hello, can you see?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, please. So, so I need to read again it. So Iz will be IL e to the power gamma z dash. Fine. Now I told you that this z dash you can write like this L minus z. So if you use this definition, correct? So you can write Vz as IL Z naught e to the power gamma L e to the power minus gamma C, or better to write Vi e to the power minus gamma Z. This term is actually nothing but your input terminal voltage, and Iz will be similarly going like this. This is IL e to the power gamma L e to the power minus gamma Z, and finally you can also write this II e to the power minus gamma. Okay, so this is somewhat important relation, and particularly we can directly recall these things when we have situation ZL is equal Z naught. Fine. So you can find it out the voltage and current distribution over the transmission line. Now I'm going to start one of the very important thing, and it will be really very useful for you, that just a minute. So the next thing is the transmission line as a circuit element. This is one of the very important, because how we will realize uh, this component like capacitor, inductor, and these things at microwave frequencies, at megahertz or kilohertz. The things are ready-made in a market. These things are available actually. These are the ready-made items we can purchase. Hmm. This 220 ohm resistor and zero point 0.1 microfarad capacitor, like this we can purchase easily. Now what happens when we are working at microwave frequencies? So it is really tough to manage these things. So how we will manage? So I'm going to tell you under this, which is transmission line as a circuit element. So this is one of the very important uh, finding, I would say, actually, from the transmission line itself, that we can define these things. So we already have the idea about the input impedance. I'll not write again these things. So let us say for lossless transmission line. So for lossless transmission line, it means alpha is equal to 0. Fine. So what is gamma? Gamma will be J beta, and the Z naught is here. Let's say R naught. Correct? A real value of the characteristic impedance. Now, now that Zin or input impedance formula will change. How? You can write like this: Zin is equal R naught ZL plus J R naught 10 beta L divided by R naught plus J ZL 10 beta L. Fine? Fine? How this is possible? Because we know from the trigonometrical relations that 10 hyperbolic gamma L, if we expand like this, 10 hyperbolic gamma, we can write J beta L. Fine. So this could be replaced with J 10 beta L. Fine. Simple 10. And the J will be outside of this. Correct. So this is a mathematical relation we used here. So this is the new definition of input impedance when certain restrictions are there, that there is a lossless transmission line and Z naught is equal R naught, a real value. Correct? Now, let's talk over these things, and with this restriction, we'll take some special cases are here actually, and these special cases are, the first one is the open circuit termination, correct? Open circuit termination. What is the meaning of these things? Like you have a transmission line, and at this side the terminals are open. It means the load is actually what? Infinity. Fine. Now if this is so, can we calculate the input impedance for this condition? Yes, of course. This is Zi input impedance. I am putting O here, it means the open circuited. Fine. And if you try to solve from the formula, so you can write these things. Means this will be purely imaginary first of all, and I would say the purely reactive actually. J x naught is equal to minus J R naught 10 beta L. Fine. Or you can also write this ZIO is equal minus J R naught cot beta L. Fine. So this is when we have the open circuit termination for lossless transmission line. Now here you can see the argument, which is 10 cot argument is beta L. This is we call as the electrical length, beta L, and we can express in terms of lambda. Fine. Now based on this value actually, because we know that cot beta value, when this is 0 or when this is, means when we are putting the argument 0 or 90 degree, what will happen? So based on that the sign will be going to change. Fine. And when the sign changes, correct, so we can recall this thing j omega L and 1 upon j omega C. These terms if we are compare, so it will provide us the capacitance or inductance. Are you getting this point? Fine. So the thing is, like it depends on cot beta L, because if you plot the cot beta L, you will find sometimes it goes below x-axis or above, sometimes above x-axis. Correct. It means that it will provide sometimes some values of lambda, it will be positive, and some values for lambda is negative. So means we are going to already decide its behavior as a capacitor or inductor. Now the thing is, if you plot, correct, this cos beta L, so and I'm just copying these things, just a minute. I'm just putting here. Fine. If you plot, this is a curve. Please check. So if you plot Z input impedance, Zi, which is input impedance for open circuit termination, so the curve will be looking like this. Correct. And the upper part will provide you the inductive behavior, and the this later part below this axis, d by lambda g, will provide you the capacitance. Fine. So it means if I conclude these things, so I can write between 0 L and lambda by 4, this behaves as a capacitive. You please check here, this behaves as a capacitive. Whereas between lambda by 4 to lambda by 2, this behaves as a inductor. Fine, the upper part. Okay, now we can also see one curve actually. This curve, if you see, so you will get the real picture, and you're supposed to trace actually this curve. Fine, these two curves. So what you will find that this part, like here they mention actually up to lambda by 4, this is capacitor, then after inductor, then capacitor, then inductor, like this. So it depends upon the electrical length, which is a beta L. Fine. So depending upon the requirement, that what kind of elements is required, like capacitor, inductor, you can choose the different electrical length, and you can manage what is a capacitor or inductor. Right. So let us take one case actually, and let us assume that 10 beta L, where beta L is very less than 1, means a very small element I'm talking about. So 10 beta L I can write as beta L. Can I write? Yes. So what is ZIO? ZIO will be ZXIO is equal to minus J R naught over beta L. Can we write? This cot beta L we can replace with only beta L as per the assumption. I'm taking one assumption, a case you can say. Now the thing is, we know the uh, we have the expressions for R naught as well as beta in terms of capacitance and inductors. If you recall, so this will be like this: J under root L by C divided by beta is what? Omega under root LC multiplied with L. Now if you solve this, so what you can write? Minus J 1 upon omega CL. So this is what ZIO when open circuit termination, lossless line, and beta L is very less than 1. It's very small segment. So very small segment will fall, means we are indirectly talking about lambda by 4 line. And here you can see the C term is there, and this is what? Capacitance, farad per meter. Fine. So from these things, it is clear that mathematically that what we are claiming above basis of the electrical line is correct actually, and this will offer the capacitance. In a similar way, correct? In a similar way, one can do for the inductance. So what you need to do for that actually, you need to perform the short circuit termination. Short circuit termination means ZL will be 0. When ZL will be 0, then what will be the input impedance of that case? Zi, and let us put S means short circuit is equal to JXIS is equal J R naught 10 beta L. Fine. So now 10 beta L, we know its range minus infinity to plus infinity. Fine. So it means that this transmission line means based on this electrical length, it would be capacitive or inductive. Fine. So in a similar way, you can perform the same analysis. Let's say beta L is very less than 1. So in that case, if you find it out ZIS, you will get J omega L small l. And this is what? Purely inductive. Fine. This is what purely inductive. It means below lambda by 4, the short circuit termination lossless transmission line will provide you the inductive behavior. And above that, you will be getting the capacitive. Now, if you plot this particular thing, if you plot these things, so the plot will look like this. Fine. The plot will be like this. And here, that up to lambda by 4, correct, up to lambda by 4, it will offer the inductive behavior, and between lambda by 4 to lambda by 2 it will offer the capacitive, and like that it will be keep going on. Correct. Now if you see this curve, so we mentioned here how the inductor capacitor and inductor capacitance is varying, and these are the 10 beta L curve. Fine. So with this actually we learned actually that how we can realize the capacitor and inductor from the segment of the transmission line, and it is really very important, that when we solve and when we have the problem that design the circuit, microwave circuit, how you will find these things. Now another case is that quarter wave transmission line, and this quarter wave transmission line means L is lambda by 4. It means that beta L will be pi by 2. Now you supposed to recall these things, your input impedance formula, or you can also express beta as odd multiple of lambda by 4. So this will be 2 pi lambda 2n minus 1 lambda by 4. Fine. So if you solve this for Zn, so you will be getting what? R naught J R naught J ZL, or R naught square over ZL. Now it means what? When ZL is infinity, so Zin will be 0, means short circuit. And when ZL is 0, short circuit, then Zin will be infinity, means open circuit. So this is the beauty actually. You can exchange between short circuit and open circuit by placing the proper load condition at the last as open or short. Fine. So this is one thing. And the last special case is the half wave section. This is somewhat is very important. So here L will be n times of lambda by 2. So beta L will be n pi. Now in that case, 10 beta L will be 0. And what is the value of Zin? The Zin will be ZL. It means what? If you are taking the lambda by 2 transmission line, that depending over the ZL, the value will be same at input side, which is Zin. So a half wave lossless line transfer the load impedance to the input terminals without any change. So this is one of the very important outcome. Correct. So finally, I would like to conclude these things, that how we started, and what are the conclusions actually. So we started like that we find it out the voltage and current distribution over the transmission line at arbitrary location, and by having that relation we can fix the input impedance. Fine. And these input impedance, correct, formula could be utilized actually to fix your circuit element, means capacitor or inductor. So if you take, I have taken a special case here, and the special case was that for lossless transmission line. and the characteristic impedance is the real. These two assumptions we have taken, and then we sorted out all these things, then sub-special cases. So what we found for open-ended case, up to lambda by 4, we are getting the capacitance, correct? Whereas for the short-ended case, up to lambda by 4, we are getting the inductive behavior, correct? So depending upon the electrical length, which is a beta L, you can have the freedom to decide your capacitance and inductance. And the last two case is somewhat very important when we'll do the matching and all the things, and we'll see in a Smith chart also that quarter wave transmission line means lambda by 4 transmission line, and the formula is what we got by this derivation, R naught square by ZL. It means that it transfers the input impedance to the input impedance actually what you realize at the load side. So if you have the open circuited system, so in the input side will provide the short circuit. So in that case, in that in this way actually, you can transfer your impedance, correct? So this is somewhat very important because when we have the matching circuit, so sometimes we needed actually these kind of things. And the half wave, like here, finally we got Zin is equal ZL. It means that whatever we are realizing, we are getting the input side. So this is all about the circuit realization of the transmission line. Fine. So if you have any question, you can discuss with me. I'm open.